Hey guys, I'm Jessie, and today I am going to be talking about all of the September 2023 fantasy book releases that I am super excited for. As is the theme of my channel lately, better late than never. So this is coming up a little bit after the first week of September, but that's okay, because a lot of these come out later in the month anyway, so y'all are gonna be fine. But I really wanted to get this up because there's a lot of really cool books coming out in the month of September that I'm excited about and I wanted to talk about. So we're going to try to make this not like a 17-year video, as is my normal, and just jump right in. All right. So the first book has already come out because it came out on the 1st of September, and that is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. And this sounds like a really fun, interesting, kind of like light fantasy standalone that I'm actually really excited to read, even though it's a little outside of my norm. All right, so this book says that it is Once Upon a Time meets The Office in a laugh out loud viral series turned novel about a sunshine assistant to an evil villain and their unexpected romance. I'm not typically like a romance reader, but I don't know, something about that just sounds fun and funny, and I like Once Upon a Time and I like The Office, so it just sounds like really weird putting them together, but really fun. And I know this is from the same publisher that did Fourth Wing, so the first edition printing of it, it's paperback, but it has sprayed edges, so it is pretty, like it's pretty. I don't think they're stenciled, I think they're just sprayed. But this is one that I really want to check out because it sounds like up my alley when it comes to kind of a romance and just like highly entertaining. Okay, so the next one has already come out already. It comes out on the 5th of September, or came out on the 5th of September, and that is The Library of Shadows by Rachel Moore. This one says, Radcliffe Prep, the third most haunted school in the country, where student disappearance isn't uncommon and no one dares stay in the library after dark. And Estee enrolls with the hopes of finding her dead father. Not literally, of course. She doesn't believe in ghosts. Going to her dad's school just seems like the best hope of figuring out who he was. But then Estee meets Mateo, who is maybe, probably, definitely a real ghost. And an annoying one at that. When Mateo frames Estee for the theft of a rare book from the library's secret spire and then vanishes, Estee has to track him down or risk being expelled and leaving Radcliffe early, just like her father did. Except, following her father's footsteps might be more dangerous than Estee ever anticipated. As she investigates the library with its secret passageways, hidden tunnels, and haunted halls, she learns student disappearances aren't just a myth. And if she isn't careful, she'll be next. That sounds really fun. I'm a sucker for like hauntings and like anything that has to do with like a library or magical library or haunted library. And I don't know. It just sounds really cute. So definitely gonna check that one out. All right. Another one that came out on the 5th of September is Midnight at the Houdini by Delilah S. Dawson. In this one, it says, a girl discovers a surreal hotel where no one ever leaves. When the clock strikes midnight, she'll be trapped there forever unless she's able to break free from the magic that in turn breaks all her rules. I don't know. It sounds really cool and creepy and very fall vibes. A lot of these, obviously they're coming out in September, so like fall vibes. But I'm really excited. This one sounds really cool too. All right, the next one is another one that's not like a typical Jessie book, but it just sounded really cute. And that is Playing the Witch card by K.J. Dell'Antonia. And it comes out on the 12th of September. It says it's Gilmore Girls meets practical magic and the latest novel from the New York Times best-selling author of The Chicken Sisters, which I've never heard of The Chicken Sisters, but Gilmore Girls and practical magic, give it to me please. She gave up on magic, but magic didn't give up on her. Flair knows 3 things. Magic is real, love isn't, and relying on either ends in disaster. So while she's grateful for the chance to take over her grandmother's Kansas bakery after she finally leaves her cheating husband, she won't be embracing Nana's fortune-telling side hustle. Hers is a strictly no magic operation. Until the innocent batch of tarot card cookies Flair bakes for the town's Halloween celebration unleashes the power of the family deck. Luring Flair's unpredictable mother to town, tempting Flair's magic-obsessed daughter, and bringing back Flair's first love while ensnaring her ex in a curse she can't break. Flair attempts to control the chaos, only makes it worse, playing right into the hands of a powerful witch. Suddenly, there's far more at stake than her status as the most reluctant witch in town. And the magic Flair has long rejected becomes the only card she has left to play. So that sounds very, like, cozy vibes, like, kind of chaos and, like, magic. Like, there's stakes, but it's still more, like, low stakes than stuff like I normally read. And, like, it sounds just fun and cozy and, like, a really good fall read. And I like the fact that our protagonist is an older mom. So that kind of sold me alone. All right, so this next one comes out on the 13th of September. And that is Godless Crown by Shade Lapidi. In this thrilling Afro fantasy, the first set in a lush, opulent kingdom of Gala, a girl raised in secret must leave her sheltered rural home for the subtle dangers of the royal court, where she becomes caught up in deadly power struggles and romantic intrigue. Calothea has grown up in the shadows of her kingdom, hidden away in the forested east after her parents were ousted as enemies of the king. Raised in a woodland idyll by a few kindly adult caretakers, she can hunt and fish and fend for herself, but knows little of the outside world. When assassins attack her home on her 16th birthday, she must flee to the king's court in the west. A beautiful but lethal nest of poison, plots, and danger, overseen by an entrenched patriarchy. Guided by the goddess herself, can she navigate the most worldly of places to find her own role? What if she must choose between her country and her heart? Excitement, romance, and a charismatic heroine shine in this first book set in the unforgettable kingdom of Gala. This next one comes out on the 20th of September, and that is The Eternity Gate by Catherine Briggs. And it says, destroy the key, save her people and herself. The Eternity Gate is found in Kings and Monsters battle over its legends and treasures, but rumors whisper that someone stole the gate's ancient key. Sayo, a handmaiden to the princess, keeps 3 secrets. First, she's gifted in fire, not light, and may as well be cursed. Second, she translates a prophecy warning that the gate does not offer treasure, but judgment. Third, Jorai, the scorned prince and Sayo's confidant, entrusts her with the key and disappears. Surrounded by war, Sayo and her companions embark on a journey to seek help from a faraway empire and find Jorai, unaware of the trap awaiting them. But what should Sayo do with the key? Who can survive judgment, especially someone as flawed as her? Will hiding the key or destroying it save her people or ensure their definitely another one that sounds really cool. And I think this is like either indie pub or self pub. All right, the next one comes out on the 14th of September, and this one I'm super excited about. It's Play of Shadows by Sebastian de Castell. And this is the second Sebastian de Castell book coming out this year. The first one was The Malevolent Seven, which I read and loved, so I'm very excited to read this one. So it says, swordplay, magic, intrigue, and friendship stronger than iron. The first book in a new swashbuckling fantasy series by the best-selling author of The Greatcoats. Like, really, that's all I kind of needed to know. I didn't really want to go much further because the first book that I read by Sebastian de Castell was The Malevolent Seven, and I went in knowing not very much and absolutely had a good time. I really want to go back and read some of his backlog, but I know that it's like a swashbuckling fantasy and it just sounds really cool, so I'm here for it. Then on the 16th of September, we have A Stolen from a Dream by Naranja K. And I believe this is self-published as well. The gods of Belteros were not a kindly lot. They were petty, jealous, and cruel. All his life, Pelthiel and his sister Lalitha had steered clear of the gods, the secrets of their bloodline, as well as the warning uttered by their mother, prompting their decision. The last thing they need is for the gods to discover their truth and the existence of their magic. However, when they save a stranger from drowning, they're forced to reveal their magic. And worse, Pel develops feelings for Belthan, who is no ordinary man. He is the chosen sacrifice of Uftir, one of the gods, and the city of Najir and its warriors would kill anyone who keeps him from them. Even worse, they discover something about Bel that could tear the entire world apart. Something far worse than the armies and the wrath of the god coming for them. The gods have seen them, and they are coming. But sometimes, even gods are powerless against one man. I don't know. Sounds really cool. Pretty sure it's self-published. Definitely gonna check this one out. All right, this next one comes out on the 19th of September, and I legit cannot get over this cover. This is Starter Villain by John Scalzi. That cover. I can't get over it. Inheriting your uncle's supervillain business is more complicated than you might think, particularly when you discover who's running the place. Charlie's life is going nowhere fast. Divorced substitute teacher living with his cat in a house his siblings want to sell. All he wants is to open a pub downtown, if only the bank would approve his loan. Then his long-lost Uncle Jake dies and leaves his supervillain business, complete with island and volcano lair, to Charlie. But becoming a supervillain isn't all giant lasers, death rays, and lava pits. Jake has enemies, and now they're coming after Charlie. His uncle might have been a stand-up, old-fashioned kind of villain, but these are the real thing. Rich, soulless predators backed by multinational corporations and venture capital. It's up to Charlie to win the war his uncle started against a league of supervillains. But with unionized dolphins, hyper-intelligent talking spy cats, and terrifying hench people at his side, going bad is starting to look pretty good. In a dog-eat-dog world, be a cat. I don't know, that just sounds like fun. I don't know what it is. There's like some weird supervillain thing going on this September, like with 2 of the books, so I'm here. All right, also coming out on the 19th is A Study in Jounding by Ava Reed. It says, Effie has always believed in fairy tales. Haunted by visions of the fairy king since childhood, she's had no choice. Her tattered copy of Angaradad, Emery's epic about a mortal girl who falls in love with the fairy king, then destroys him, is the only thing keeping her afloat. So when Madron's family announces a contest to redesign the late author's estate, Effie feels certain it's her destiny. But the musty, decrepit manor is an impossible task, and its residents are far from welcoming, including Preston, a stodgy young literature scholar determined to expose the author as a fraud. As 2 rivals piece together clues about their legacy, dark forces, both mortal and magical, conspire against them, and the truth may bring them both to ruin. Part historical fantasy, part rivals to lovers romance, part gothic mystery, and all haunting dreamlight atmosphere. Okay, so it reminds me a little bit of The Wishing Game, which I just read, which is like a reclusive author throws a contest to win their new book, basically. Very Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This sounds like a darker kind of version of that, and I am here for it because I loved that book. Also on the 19th, we have Champion of Fate by Kendar Blake. This says that Kendar Blake is back with an epic duology starter that follows a young woman training to join a fabled order as she attempts to lead a hero to his critical first victory. A must-read for fans of Alexandra Bracken and Victoria Aveyard. It says, the Aristine is an order of mythical female warriors. Though heroes might be immortalized in legends, it's the Aristine who guide their paths to victory. They are the hero makers. Raised by the order after being orphaned, Reed grew up surrounded by her future sisters in arms and the incredible stories of their quests. She's been counting down the days until her initiation, and now one final test stands in her way, shepherding her first hero to glory on the battlefield. Succeed and her place is secured. Fail and she'll be cast out of the only home she's ever known. But Reed didn't count on Hestian, her assigned hero, being both infuriating and intriguing. When their strategic alliance turns to something more, it forces Reed to question the cost of becoming an Aristine. As battle looms and fate hangs in the balance, she must make an impossible choice, her hero or her order. Then we have also on the 19th, big day for books, the 19th of September, Nightbreaker by Coco Ma. 15 years ago, The Vanishing thrust Manhattan into darkness, forever changing the city that never sleeps. By day, resilient New Yorkers have adapted, clinging to vestiges of their cosmopolitan lives. By night, well, you never go out at night unless you have a death wish. Or unless you're Ray Reynolds. Alright, that's all I need. It sounds really cool. Whew, we're getting there. There's a lot in September. The next one is also the 19th, and it's The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Brienne Randall. This one, again, like one earlier we talked about, is compared to Practical Magic and Gilmore Girls. I think there's just like a theme going on. Sadie has always believed that the curse of 4 heartbreaks that accompanies her magic would be worth the price. But when her grandmother's diagnosed with cancer with only weeks to live, and her first heartbreak, Jake McNeely, returns to town after a decade, her carefully structured life begins to unravel. With news of her grandmother's impending death, Sadie's estranged twin brother Seth returns to town, bringing with him deeply buried family secrets that threaten to tear Sadie's world apart. Their grandmother has been the backbone of their family for generations, and with her death, Sadie isn't sure she'll have the strength to keep the family and her magic together. As feelings for Jake begin to rekindle and her grandmother growing sicker by the day, Sadie faces the last of her heartbreaks, and she has to decide, is love more important than magic? Again, it sounds really cute and sweet and like kind of lower stakes, but still like a little bit like more hard-hitting. So definitely excited for this one. Okay, then of course, Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab, coming out on the 26th. I'm not going to give you a synopsis of this. This is book 4, the continuation in the Darker Shades of Magic series, and I'm very excited. I'm currently rereading the first series with the Shades Along readathon, so join us. And yeah, I'm not really going to give a lot on this, but I'm so excited. I love Schwab. I'll read anything that she puts out. Next, also out on the 26th, is The Hexologist by Josiah Bancroft. It says, the Hexologist, Iz and Warren, are quite accustomed to helping desperate clients with the bugbears of city life. Aided by hexes and a bag of charmed relics, the Willoughbys have recovered children abducted by a chimney race, removed infestations of barb-nosed incubi, and ventured into gray plains of the unmade to soothe a troubled ghost. Well acquainted with the weird, they never shy away from a challenging case. But when they're approached by the royal secretary and told the king pleads to be baked into a cake, going so far as to wedge himself inside a lit oven, the Willoughbys soon find themselves embroiled in a mystery that could very well see the nation turned on its head. Their efforts to expose a royal secret buried under 40 years of lies brings them nose to nose with a violent anti-royalist gang, ghouls, alchemists who draw their power from hell-like dimensions, and a bookish dragon who only occasionally eats people. Armed with love and toughened by adversity and a stick of chalk that can conjure light from the darkness, hope from the hopeless, Iz and Warren Willoughby are ready for a case that will test every spell, skill, and odd magical artifact in their considerable bag of tricks. Okay, that just sounds fun. I have not read Josiah Bancroft's other series. I have the first book, the Books of Babel, and I want to, but this one just sounds super fun. The last book that we're going to talk about is Son of Blood and Ruin by Mariley Lairs, and that comes out on the 28th of September. Rumor has it, on the streets of the 16th century New Spain, there's a new vigilante in town, serving justice. This reimagining of Zorro features a heroic warrior sorceress, weaves Mesoamerican mythology and Mexican history 2 decades after the Spanish conquest into a swashbuckling historical debut fantasy with magic, intrigue, treachery, and romance. That sounds really cool. I love the Zorro story, so I am definitely here for this like gender-swapped magical Zorro story. So, super excited for this one. And that is all the books coming out. Well, not all the books coming out in September. There's a lot more. But that's all the books we're going to talk about that are coming out in September that I'm super excited for. I actually have a blog post that I'll link down below that has more books coming out in September, like some sequels and stuff like that. Like, just check it out. There's even more books because there's a ton of books coming out in September. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. My name is Jessie, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.